Chapter 8. Aziza. When Aziza was little, Jiddu had taught her the basics of hedgecraft. Not being a hedge witch himself, he could only tell her what little he'd gleaned from the hedge witches he'd worked with on rare occasion in the past. It had been Jiddu who'd first instructed her to visualize the boundary as a veil. He'd taught her how to identify certain fae, and he'd gifted her the silver pocket knife she kept in her bag. When other children were learning to speak to their elders with respect, Aziza was learning the etiquette of human-fae interaction, how to be both polite and firm at once, how to make bargains without leaving a loophole for the crafty ones to exploit, what could be given away and what should never be. And he had told her that if she must meet with the fae, she should stick to the woodland folk. The fae of the sea were deadlier by far, at least in part because if something cornered you in the woods, you could run away, but if you were caught in the sea, there was nowhere to go but down. Aziza shivered as she zipped her coat up to her chin and shoved her hands deep into her pockets. A bitter wind lashed at her cheeks. She blinked, her eyes stinging, and squinted out at the deserted path ahead. To her right, a broad stretch of shore sloped unhurriedly to the frothing ocean. The winter moonlight turned the rippling sand gray and hard like cement. She had to wait until Jiddu had gone to bed before she snuck out each night. He was a heavy sleeper, and as long as she was back before 6 or 7 in the morning, when he usually woke, he'd never know she was gone. This had been her routine for the past week, ever since the attack at the fair. It was the 27th now. The hounds lurked in the woods still. A few hikers had been picked off in broad daylight. Whatever was happening to the boundary, it had gotten worse since the hounds had appeared. Was that just a bizarre coincidence, or were the hounds connected somehow? Focus, she told herself. During a normal year, days and times of power, like midnight, thinned the veil. This year, they threatened to split the boundary apart like a broken seam. But her magic tended to the boundary as the minutes dragged by, plugging the gaps and sewing shut the invisible tears.